Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining me today. I want to introduce myself in case this is the first video of mine you're watching. My name is Tumi. I am a medical doctor and I focus on holistic health. And I'm also a dancer, and my dances that I create and perform are also created as a way to help deepen your health by watching them. So welcome to my channel, which is a special sauce blend of holistic health tips and dance, and I talk a lot about veganism and minimalism and travel, my life in general. So I'm really looking forward to sharing some things with you during this video on my diet. But I'm not going to speak today about my vegan diet. There are many videos on that you can check out. I want to speak today about my digital diet. And what I mean by that is the way I consume and I nourish myself through my engagement with the screen and with the internet. We're all in this modern age, unless you don't engage in internet or the screen at all for whatever reason. If you are one of those people, you're one of the very few people. Most of us are definitely consuming the World Wide Web, the internet. My experience as a doctor now has been increasingly seeing how important what we are consuming and how we are consuming is vital for our health and can either really downgrade our health or uplift it. So how are you? What are you eating? What are you eating through the internet? What are you taking in and how are you taking that in? March 9th, in a couple of days, is actually the National Day of Unplugging in the States. But wherever you are in the world, if you're watching this, I encourage you to try a digital detox. I have made a video already on my tech sabbath. I take a day off every week from the internet, and it's been amazing for my health. And I will leave a link to that video in the description box down below. I also made a video on why it's important to really think about how you engage with the internet and the science behind it. I'll leave a link to that video in the description box below. Today, I want to give you some ideas around your diet, your digital diet, and to talk about my diet as well, my digital diet. And if you find that you are somebody who you feel like you are taking in too much internet time, you're engaging too much in the screen, or the way you are doing it just doesn't feel healthy for you, I hope this video is helpful. One big thing I want to offer in terms of cleaning up your digital diet or consuming your digital diet in a way that feels good for you is to, number one, to monitor how much screen time are you engaging in. How many times are you checking your email a day? How many times do you engage in social media a day? How many hours do you spend in front of the internet? Most of us don't even know this. And I remember back a few years ago when I first started looking at this in my life, because I was feeling run down. I felt like my brain was overwired. I was feeling anxious, actually. And I was shocked by how much time I was spending engaging in the internet. So the first thing is just, I would say, take a day, take 2 days to just really start paying attention to how often you're on social media and looking at the internet or browsing. The second thing I recommend is in setting some healthy boundaries. Just like we set healthy boundaries around the food we eat in terms of making sure it's good quality and making sure we're eating the amount that feels good for our vitality and our wellness, start looking at that with your digital engagement. I have a lot of boundaries, a lot of healthy boundaries around my digital life, and it's been so freeing for me. I don't feel restricted. I feel freed up by the boundaries I have around my digital life. So a few of them, just to share with you, is that I turn off all notifications. I don't have any notifications. My phone just doesn't buzz whenever I have a Facebook post or an Instagram post. And that works great for me because I can really focus on my work tasks. That might not work for you, and you have to do what feels right for you. I'm just offering some of my boundary settings. Another thing around boundary setting for me is that after 6 or sometimes 7 p.m., I turn off all internet engagement. The only caveat to this is that my sweetheart and I have an inspiration night, and on those inspiration nights we watch a couple of videos together after 7 p.m. Videos that we've bookmarked that we find inspirational that we can watch together. Other than that, I do no solo internet browsing, no email checks in the evening. I use that time for connecting with myself, connecting with my beloveds, and winding down. I also recommend that you set an amount of time for engaging in social media, for internet browsing throughout the week. Another example I'll give from my personal experience is that I engage in Facebook just 3 times a week, no longer than 10 minutes. I'll just look at people's posts, the people that I love, and give them some support in some way. But I don't do more than 10 minutes 3 times a week because that's the amount that feels good and the amount that doesn't feel like it's detracting from my life. And I have boundaries around Instagram and email that are similar. So do what works best for you, but set an intention for how much time you want to set with these different practices. I now have a few tips for when you do engage in internet, when you are on the internet, when you are on the World Wide Web, that I want to share with you today. And I found these to be so helpful for me. One of the things, and I talk about this in a past video, is around internet and internet engagement, is that there's a release of dopamine. There's a pleasure neurotransmitter that gets released, dopamine, in our brain when we engage in the internet, when we click on a social media post, when we click like, when we get a Facebook notification. And that is a reward system. So we feel really good, and then we want more. We want more of that engagement. And that can quickly spiral into engaging more than you want to in these different platforms, and engaging so much that it impinges your sleep. It starts hurting your relationships with people in your life and your relationship with yourself, with a sense of knowing what you think and how you feel and checking in with yourself because you're constantly being pulled outward. So I say all this to say that looking at your digital diet can be really helpful. And some of the ways that I do this in terms of when I sit down to eat or consume or engage with the internet is I do the following. And I hope some of these tips are useful. One, I remember how much time I've allotted to this practice of whatever I'm going to do, whether it's checking email or scrolling the internet for a little bit, looking at my favorite vlog pages. And after I do that, I set a playlist. This is, for example, with videos. If I set 30 minutes to look at some videos, I will set the videos that I want to look at, and then I'll watch them. Now, when I watch a video, or when I'm looking at Facebook, or when I'm on Instagram, I close all other browsers. And I'd love to encourage you to do that. Multitasking is something around the digital world we do not do well, and science shows us this. We may think that we can write a little bit of an email, and then check Facebook, and then check Instagram, and then get a newspaper really quickly online and do all those things quickly. We're not. And it turns out that we actually end up being much less focused and our clarity diminishes. So I encourage not multitasking. Slow everything down. If you're looking at Facebook, just take time, whatever time you've allotted to look at Facebook. If you're watching a video, close all their browsers. And another tip I have is to actually make this I learned from my sweetheart, make the video the entire screen. Rather than keeping the video, for example, on YouTube as a small thing where you're side-eyeing the sidebar, other videos you can watch after, make it the entire screen, and then you're only watching that video. It helps with presence. And I also encourage you to put your finger down. Get your finger off the trackpad, get your finger off the mouse, literally Put your finger down and look at what you want to read and watch. Presence. It's so small, but it's so powerful. The only reason to use your fingers in this stage is if you're taking notes. If you're watching something or reading something that's really interesting to you that you want to remember, take notes, but that's being present. Otherwise, put your finger down. One last thing that I would say around when you engage, when you consume, is at the end of whatever time you've allotted, turn it off. Turn it off and then check in with yourself. How do you feel? How do you feel about what you saw, what you read? And give gratitude. Give gratitude for whatever you learned, for the inspiration you may have gleaned. And then walk away, understanding that all that you really need to know, all that you need to be inspired by is within. You don't need more time in front of the internet to get more inspired. In fact, my experience has been that I peak in terms of feeling inspired after about 20 minutes of watching or reading something, and then I start to feel more and more depleted. So really feel into that. And I say that with food also. See how you feel after eating a meal. Do you feel energized or do you feel depleted? And if you feel depleted after certain foods, maybe think about those foods. Same thing with internet. If you're looking at certain blog or vlog sites or Facebook pages or Instagram pages and you feel depleted after these, rethink if that's something or someone you want to keep following or watching. So I think I have so many of these tips, but I think that's enough for now. I just want to encourage you to be mindful of your digital experience, your digital diet, and know that you have one, and start investigating what kind of diet it is, if it's really helping your health. Sundown March 9th to sundown March 10th is National Unplugging Day. I already unplug one day of the week. It's usually a Sunday for me, but I'm going to be doing an extra day this week, and I'd love to invite you to join me March 9th to March 10th to do the same thing. I just want to encourage you to take one day a week, if you can, to really unplug, to give yourself a detox day from the internet. So that's all for today. I do want to say that I talk a lot about diet and food and recentering in my new book called Delicious Healing that you can check out. I'll leave a link on how to get the book in the description box down below. And I also just want to tell you that I have a few exciting videos coming up. I will be doing the hair rinse video soon, I promise. We're just in a place right now with not the best lighting, but I will do that video. I'm also going to come to you with a video on being deliciously raw in different cities. So how I stay raw and healthy and happy in different cities. And I have one on Chiang Mai coming up really soon. And I will be doing a video on my dental health. You guys have asked for it, it is coming. So stay tuned, subscribe to my videos, and click on the notifications bell next to the subscribe button so you know when the videos are coming out. You can follow me on Instagram, same handle, The Poem Dances, and I think that's it for today. I'm sending you so much love we are now in the Canary Islands, on the island of Gran Canaria, and it's beautiful. We're literally staying on the beach. So I'll show you a little bit here. This is where we're staying, and it's gorgeous. It's a little cool some mornings, but it's been wonderful. So I'm sending you so much love from there, wherever you are in the world. Take time for yourself, recenter, unplug to replug to the beauty, to the truth, to the self that is within.